Hello people, I'm Bharat Acharya. Welcome to our new lecture. Today, I'm continuing with a series of these videos that I'm making for YouTube where I'm solving the most frequently asked questions in C programming, especially for practical exam. If your C practical exam is around the corner, this is the playlist you need to watch. Watch the whole playlist in the order that it's made, because once I've taught something in one video, I'm not going to repeat that in the next. I'm trying to keep these videos as small and crisp as possible so that students watching last minute find it easy to learn. You want to learn the whole course of C? Come on my website, take the course of C. There are 40 videos. Each video is about an hour. Each video has 3, 4, 5 programs done, so you can understand how many programs you solved in that, plus the whole theory concepts of everything that is there in the C language. In fact, even beyond, I've taken a lot of part of DSA in that course. But anyway, so you want to learn all of C? Go ahead, take the course on my website. If you want just targeted learning for your practical exam, watch this playlist which I've kept free on YouTube. Even if your placement's around the corner, they are going to ask you these basic programs on that during that placement, on that personal interview, in that table. They're not going to ask you huge programs that run into pages. Nobody has that much time. These basic programs you ought to know. Finding the minimum of few numbers, max of a few numbers, sum, average, sorting a series, reversing a number, reversing a string, checking for palindrome, working with 1D array, working with 2D arrays are things that everybody ought to know. You don't know this, you can't get placed. So if your placement is around the corner, watch this playlist. If your exam is happening pretty much in the next few days or in the next few weeks, watch this video. If you have ample time, go on my website, take the whole course of C and master it. All right, let's begin. So you want to find the max of 3 numbers. You have 3 variables, A, B, C. They'll give you 3 values. You have to pick up the max. What do you do? Very simple. First, check A and B. If A is greater, listen to the words I'm saying. If A is greater than B, B is out of question. Now, if A is greater than C, that means A is the max, else C is the max. Because A had beaten B, but C beats A, that means C is the max. Come on, show me this much code. Very simple. Once again, before I write the code for the last time, A, B, C. First, compete between A and B. If A beats B, B is out. Now, the competition is between A and C. If A beats C, C is also out, A is the max. Else, A is out, C is the max. B is not in the picture at all because A had beaten B. Are you all clear? So first show me this much, then we'll go to the second part. Come on. So I have 3 variables, A, B, C. If I'm writing the programs on VS Code, you can write the programs on any online compiler, on VS Code, on code blocks, on 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗁, whichever one you're comfortable. The program is the same. So if A is greater than B, all right? So if this part is satisfied, I'm not going to the else part. The else part will be the second half of the logic, which we will discuss later, where B is involved. Here, in this much part of the program, B is not in the picture because A has beaten B. So now if we have come here, B is out of question. Now the contest is between whom and whom? A and C. If A is greater than C, that means A has beaten both B as well as C. That means max is A. Please tell me, did you understand this? The else of this one is, okay, tell me, what does this else mean? Come on. When I take these lectures in the classroom, that is madness. At each point, I ask students, okay, what is happening here? What is happening here? And you hear those 50, 60 people screaming together. That is joy. I want that same response from you. Put your mind, think you're in a classroom, think someone else is going to answer before you, try to answer. Come on. If we have entered this part of the program, if we are here in any of this zone, that means who is out of picture? Who cannot be the highest? B, because this is the true part where A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, this is the true section. Are you clear? That means B is out. So the contest is only between whom and whom? A and C. Now, if we have entered this part, that means this is also true. This is also true. That means A is greater than B as well as C. That means max is A. But if we have entered this else, please answer. What does that mean? If we are in this part of the program, what does that mean? A is greater than B. That is true. But A is not greater than C. A has beaten B, but C has beaten A. A is not greater than C. This else means this if has failed. That means who is the max? Come on, come on, come on. Max is C. Now, if you understood this, did you? Now, tell me the else part over here. Come on. So, this is the approach that we are taking of nested if-else. You can find max of 3 numbers either by nested if-else or by just simple if comparisons. When it was asked in Mumbai University, it was said very clearly, find max of 3 numbers using nested if-else. So, I am using this approach. When we finish this, I'll teach you the other approach also. Do not worry at all. Just keep paying attention. Don't shoot the gun. Don't go ahead of what I'm saying. Just be with me. It's my job to hold your hand and make you understand the program. Okay? Look here. So, I first checked if A is greater than B. If it was true, we entered this whole above section, which we have already discussed. This is done. Now, if this check was false, that means this will not be executed. The else part will be executed. That means A could not beat B. That means who is out of picture? A is out of picture. Now the contest is between whom and whom? B and C. So if, come on, if B has already beaten A. So if B is greater than C, that means who is the max? Come on, loud and clear. Max is equal to B. Now, if that could not be satisfied, if this if failed, so we are in its else part. If this if failed, that means, please answer. Last question and this is done. We are here. That means who is out of picture? A, because A greater than B was not satisfied. So that has failed. That's why we have come here. So the question is only between B and C. Now, if B is greater than C, max is B. This failed. That means B could not beat C. That means who is greater? C. So max is C. Now, you may ask, sir, 2 questions over here. I know you are dying to ask. Let me just unzoom a little bit so that everything fits on the screen. Yeah. You may be asking, sir, you never checked equality. Why do we check equality? A and B both have the value 2. Whether I take that 2 from A or whether I take that 2 from B, what does it matter? My question is to find the highest of those values. Whoever gives me doesn't matter. So equality is not our contention over here at all. Our contention is who is greater. So for the last time, if this part is true, if this condition is true, A is greater than B, then we will enter here. That means B is out of picture. So only we check A and C. If A beats C, max is A, else max is C. Please tell me, did you understand? Similarly, if this condition failed, that means A could not beat B. That means B is greater, A is out of picture. Now the competition is only between B and C. If B is greater than C, max is B, else max is C. Please tell me, is this clear? So that is the first thing that students ask. So why aren't you checking for equality? We don't care. If all the 3 values are equal, all of them are 5, whether I take the 5 from A or from B or from C, what does it matter? The max is 5. That's what matters. If the numbers were 5, 7, 7, I don't care whether I'm taking the 7 of B or the 7 of C. Basically, I want to know whether which is the highest number. 7 is the highest number. Are you clear? So equality doesn't make any difference in these comparisons at all. Our idea is greater than to pick up the max. Now, second question. Students say, sir, why are you making such big blocks? Very true. If this condition is true, I want to do only one line. When you want to do more than one lines, you create this block by using curly brackets. If your code is only of one line, that block is not required. You can just write it over here. In fact, you can write it on the same line by just putting a space. So what that does is, it tremendously reduces the size of our program and makes it more easy to understand. So yes, while explaining, I had shown the blocks because from my experience of teaching, that's how students understand the program easily the first time. But once they've understood, this makes the program look simpler. So I am going to do this, but just while explaining, I had made those blocks just to keep your logic easy to understand. So this is now your final program. You understand, in this true part, there are 2 lines. If this true part, there are multiple lines. So I need a block. So those brackets are here. But if this if is satisfied, I just want to do this much. So I don't need to create a block by putting curly brackets. You can just write the statement there. So now for the last time, just once explain this to me with full conviction, with confidence. Come on. If A is greater than B, so if this condition is true, we are here. Now in this zone, B cannot be the max. The question is between A and C. If A is greater than C, max is A, else max is C. Similarly, if we are in this zone, that means A was not greater than B. So A is out of picture. Now the contest is between B and C. If B is greater than C, max is B, else max is C. Please tell me, did you all understand this? You understand if this is how you find max, how do you find min? Same thing, just greater than becomes less than. Your variable is not called max, it's called min. So replace all the greater thans with less than, and that's a program for the min of 3 numbers. Now, let's run this and check. Do not assume values of A, B, C. Hello, that will not work. In the practical exam, the examiner wants to come and enter numbers and check whether your program is right or not. So you will ask the values of A, B, C from the user. All right. For that, you need a bunch of printfs and scanfs. So printf, enter A. Are you clear? You're asking the user to enter A. Scanf, %d, and A. In the previous program, I have explained this. I will not run around and explain this again, because then we'll just be beating around the bush. I have explained this. Okay, in short, I'm telling the user enter a decimal value, an integer value. So I've taken the %d means an integer value, because all of these are defined as ints. If they were float, %f. If they were characters, %c. Whatever has been accepted should be stored at the address of A, and A means store it at the address of A. Okay, so like this, I have accepted A. Okay, let me zoom it to make it easier for you to understand. Once I have accepted A, do the same thing for B and C. Enter B, capture B, enter C, capture C. Are you clear? Some teachers have a habit of telling enter 3 numbers in one line. Why? Just for laziness. Instead of typing it 3 times, they want to do it in one line. No problem, as long as you do it correctly. Now when you say enter 3 numbers, the user will enter the first number, let's say 25. Now the user is confused. How do I enter the second number? Should I put a space after 25? Should I put a comma after 25? Should I put a dash after 25? What do I put? And putting the wrong thing will give you a wrong input, and your program will fail. For no fault of yours, all of this, your main logic is correct, but you just didn't know how to accept the values. So if you don't want to get into that trap, don't do that. Ask for the values individually. If you still want to ask them together, the separator comes here. %d, space %d, space %d means you have to enter the 3 numbers with a space. You put comma, 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 that means you have to enter with commas. You understand that? So instead of making a mess of all that, just accept the 3 numbers individually. Do it the right way. Now you accepted the 3 numbers. Now you calculated this. Now display printf. The result, max is equal to %d. I like to drop a line after every display. And here will be your variable max. So the variable max will put the value in place of this %d. So max is equal to whatever is the value of the variable max will appear here. Let's run this. Let's see where we go. Yes, forgot to put the semicolon here. There you go. Enter A, 2, B, 7, C, 5, 275. What should be the max? 7. Max is 7. Please tell me, did you understand this? If you want to leave a line before you display this max so that your output looks nice, graceful, copy this, put it over here. That's just a printf \n. \n means drop a line. Let's say 99 minus 87, 0. What is the max? 99. Max is 99. Please tell me, did you understand this? Now this was max. If you understood max, the same thing can be done for min. Just replace all the greater than with the less thans. Please tell me, is this clear? Now, this was one method of finding max. Now I'll show you another method. Okay, I'm just saving this file, max3 part 2. I'm saving this as a new file where I'll show you how to find max of 3 without using such a complicated if-else, the nested if-else. Why did I use this? Because the question said, when you pick up the chit for the practical exam, max of 3 numbers, if it just says max of 3 numbers, you won't use this method. You'll use the method that I'm going to teach you now, which is easy. But if the question says max of 3 numbers using nested if-else, then you have to use this. This is nested if-else. Nested means one within the other. So this is an if-else. As you can see, this is an if-else within an if-else. Are you clear? Hence the name nested if-else. So if the question says use nested if-else, you have to do that. Otherwise, this is a much simpler approach. I love this approach. Okay, pay attention here. A, B, C. This is so simple. A, B, C, 3 variables. I have a variable max. Max at the end will be one of these 3 values, cannot be a 4th value. Between 2, 3, 4, max can be only 2, 3, 4, that is 4. Max cannot be 7, correct? So what do I do? I initialize max with A directly, no checking. Max is equal to A. Whoever is the first number, you are max. Now, look at B. If B is greater than max, max is B. If C is greater than max, max is C. That's it. You assume the first number to be max. Now, you check the second number. Oh, you are bigger? Okay, I'm U. Max is B. Okay, you are bigger? Max is C. Okay, you are bigger? Max is D. What is the advantage of this? This is so scalable. For 3 numbers, you had to write 3 lines. For 4 numbers, 4 lines. For 5 numbers, 5 lines. The logic is just as simple whether there are 100 numbers also. Whereas, in this stupid method that we had seen before this, I'm calling it stupid because I don't like it. But it was asked in the exam to solve like this, so I solved it. In this method of nested if-else, you understand for 3 variables, there was 2 levels of if-else. For 4 variables, there will be 3 levels of if-else. Within this, there will be another nested if-else. Within this, there will be if-else. Within this, and it will become too complicated. It will be stupid, like I said. So, we initialize max as A. Simply assume max to be the first number. If B is greater than max, then max is B. If C is greater than max, max is C. Finally, max has the correct value. I took max as A, check for B. If you are bigger, max is B. If you are bigger, max is C. Are you clear? Individually, each one of them is being checked. Whether there are 100 numbers, all I need to do is write this 100 times. Of course, you won't write 100 times. You put this in a loop. So this is a method that is scalable. The previous method could not be scaled. So that is why this is a far better, simpler method. Let's see whether it works or not. Let's run it. There you go. A, 7. B, 4. C, 99. Max is 99. Let's run it again. You just have to press the up arrow key and hit enter. It runs again. This is in VS Code. In 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗁, you have to hit Alt-R again to run it. Anyway, 88 minus 99. 45. Max is 88. 8, 3, 1. Max is 8, and so on. Are you clear? Now, I am going to modify this program. Now, we have done this program for max. Let's take it one level higher and let's notch it up a little bit. Part 3, where I'm going to find not only max, but everything. Min, max, sum, average. 4 things: min, max, sum, average. We're making it a big program now. Are you clear? Now, you may get all these 4. When you pick up the chit, you may get all these 4 as one question. You may just get average. You may just get sum. So, I'm solving 4 different programs in one video instead of making 4 videos of the same thing. So, min, max, sum, average. If you define average as an integer, you will get average. The average part will be the part with before the point. If you define it as a float, you will get the exact average. That's up to you how you want to do it. You know how to work with both int and float. So you've taken the values A, B, C. This was the code for max, the exact code for min. Min. If min is equal to A, if B is, what will happen? The greater than will become less than. Similarly, the greater than will become less than. And this max will become min. Min. Explain to me once again. A, B, C. I want to know which is the smallest. I take min as A. So I'm assuming A to be the smallest. Min is A. B. Are you smaller? Oh, if you are smaller than me, then max becomes B. The min becomes B. Similarly, check for C. If C is also smaller than min, then min becomes C. So you keep checking each one of them till the time when you finish all the numbers, whatever is there in min will be the minimum number. So you got a min, we got a max. Sum. How do you find the sum of 3? Come on, so simple. Sum is equal to A plus B plus B plus C. So I've got the sum, and lastly average is equal to sum divided by 3. Again, I'm saying if these were floating point numbers, you would be writing, all of the others are int, so you'll be writing a float in brackets, that's typecasting, and then you will get the exact average with the point. If you want the average without the point, just the part before the, like integer average, the part before the fraction, then you just take all of them as integers, the way we have taken it. And now, displaying the results, display all the 4. Min, I'm going in the order min, max, sum, average. So min, max, sum, average. This is average and this is sum. There you go. Let's get ready to run. 12, 9, 20. Min is 9. In fact, it's right. Max is 20. Right, has to be right. Sum, 20 plus 12 is 32 plus 9 is 41. So 41 is the sum. Average, for 41 divided by 3. For 13 into 3 is 39. Like I said, it's going to give you the part before the point. It will not give, it won't round it. It will, in integers, when you do division, it just gives you the quotient, no remainder. So it will knock off the part after the point. It will truncate the result, not round it, truncate the result. Are you clear? If you want the floating point answer, define average. If that's your question in your mind, I don't want you to end the video with a question. Define average as a float. Do keep in mind all of these were ints, so if your average is a float, you have to do typecasting over here. Float. Say that you want to do this operation as a float, and now you can see that yellow thing that's happening over here. That's a warning. That's why I love VS Code. That's why I tell students to learn on VS Code. It tells you on the spot you're doing something wrong. Average is a float. You can't show it as a integer. You have to show it as a float. If you just show it as a float, it's right, it's done. But it'll give you a 6 points after the decimal point, 6 digits after the decimal point. Nobody cares for that kind of accuracy. So you write 0.2f. So it'll give you 2 digits after the point. Now let's run this. 8, 40, 7. So 7 is the smallest, 40 is the biggest, sum is 55, yes, right, and average 55 divided by 3. 3 into 18 is 54.33, perfect. Are you clear? So now you got your average as a floating point number. So I've done 4 programs over here. Are you clear? Min, max, sum, average. You may get any one of them or you may get all of them. If, of course, in your placement interviews, they're going to ask you far bigger questions. I'm going to do those also. But it may just happen that they ask you one of these. You can't solve these. If I'm taking a placement interview and a person cannot solve this, the interview is over on the spot. And you can't do this, you're on a job, really. Anyway, hope you understood this. I'll be making more videos like these for the YouTube viewers. Keep in mind, here I'm not teaching C programming. I've just taught you these particular programs. You want to learn C programming, that's a different ball game altogether. There's a lot to learn in it. Come on my website, take the whole course of C, enjoy learning it, build your foundation in one language. Learn one language thoroughly. You have not only understood that language, you understood programming. Then moving to the next language just means changing the syntax and understanding what is new in that language. But the concept of all of these programs remain the same no matter which language. This question was asked in Java or Python or any other language, the logic would be the same, the results would be the same. The only thing is, while declaring variables, while making these brackets, there's a small change in syntax, but everything else remains the same. So you're not learning C, you're learning programming. Go ahead, take the whole course, enjoy learning, master the subject, get good jobs, make your parents, your teachers, and yourself proud. Hope to see you there. Wish you all the best. Do it.